Hello and welcome back to another edition of Power of Tigray Media.
Welcome.
My name is Levander Smith. Alongside me is
Ephraim Asphalt.
Ephraim. How you doing, my man?
Very good, very good.
I know it's out of our usual broadcasting day. We had a lot of things, getting switched around. I couldn't make some things. You couldn't make some things. So we had to sell on this wonderful Saturday.
Oh, my goodness. We've been missing each other.
Yeah. Tag, you're it. No, tag, you're it. No, I can't do that day. Tag, you're it. Well, okay, how about we just compromise and come on this day?
Man, finally I'm here. And finally, Levander Smith is here today. Welcome to Power of Tigray Media. This is Alois. We promise, to come to see you and to discuss with you at least twice a week. But for the last 2 weeks, especially, it was a little bit complicated because of Levander's plans, and my plans was not compatible. It was just against each other. At the same time, there's a lot of going on in Ethiopia and Tigray and in the entire world at this time, actually. So
before we jump into that, could you tell me about what was happening in Kent today?
Oh yeah, Kent today is the birth of Tigray People Liberation Front, TPLF. We are celebrating every year. When we celebrate the birth of Tigray People Liberation Front, it's not about for TPLF. It's been decided and agreed to be the birth of the people of Tigray because the people of Tigray has been taken away their rights, like the speech right, the education, the way they govern themselves and everything. So in 1967, maybe in Ethiopian calendar, in Gregorian calendar, in 1974, this is the revolution starts. The revolutionaries was some of them are Meles Zenawi, the previous, the former prime minister of Ethiopia, and even
say that name again.
Meles Zenawi. Okay. He was the former prime minister of Meles Zenawi, was part of it, and there are a lot of struggle, and I was part of the struggle, and a lot of Tigrayans part of the struggle because we didn't have no choice unless to fight against the Derg regime at that time. Okay. Derg regime was the one who was killing, it's a lot of atrocities back then for Tigray people. So today we have a big event going on in Kent, in Seattle community. Seattle community is very strong Tigrayan community, and we do that every year.
Do they have food?
Oh yeah, they have a food. They have a big concert. They have a very famous singers.
You should have led off with that, man. You should have led off. We got food.
We have food. We have something to drink. We have a lot of celebration tonight. And one of the best singer of the Tigray singer is coming from Washington D.C. His name is Gazab. He's very, very, very genius, smart, good singer. And also Wod Kokop, who is our singer here, who lives here in Seattle, Washington. And also...
What's the name? Coco?
Wod Kokop.
Say that again? Because I only got Coco.
Wadi means... Wadi
Coco.
Kokop, yeah.
Coco.
Yeah.
Wadi Coco.
Kokop means a star, in English.
Well, see, I was gonna say cocoa means chocolate.
Cocoa means chocolate.
So
and we have Gurish and Abebe, the guitarist, the pianist.
It's going on right now.
Yeah,
it's going on right now.
It's actually starting.
Because the reason why I asked if it's going on right now,
I have to go, right? What are you doing here, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's a comical because in America there's like there's two different times. There's WPT time and CPT time. And WPT time is like white folks time, white people time. And, CP time is black people time, colored people time, right? And normally CPT time, you're probably about 30 or 40 minutes late. But then there's EPT time, Ethiopian people time. Oh, my God. Man, this joker like, hey, Devandis, we got a concert out in SeaTac, man. I'm like, okay, Ephraim. He's like, hey, could you come and video everything for me? I'm like, hey, bro, I got to be at church at 9 o'clock, so I can only stay so many then I got to bounce up out of there, right? This joker like, yeah, man, it's gonna start at 6, So I go set up the cameras, I talk to the sound guy, make sure that everything's good to go. Because number one, I wasn't going to be on CPT time because, my man tells me, hey, this is a concert, right? So I'm there on time. As a matter of fact, he said 6, so I got there at 4:30, right? Setting up everything, and I'm looking around like, okay, where is everybody? 5 o'clock, nobody. 6 o'clock, the band comes and just do a warm up. I'm like, where's everybody? I'm calling E. Like, yo, man, where you at, man? You're like, I'm on my way. I'm like, dude, the thing starts at 6. 7 o'clock, nothing's happening. 8 o'clock, nothing's happening. And I'm like, oh my God. 9 o'clock, I see a couple of people come in. And what's the young lady that she was sitting at the table with you? We was talking, and she apologized.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry, but we have our own time when we show up. I'm like, I see. 10 o'clock, I had to leave at 10:45. Right, 10 o'clock, this joker come up, hey, Devandis, I want to get a couple of interviews with some people. I'm like, what? Dude. You remember that?
Yeah, that was last year actually, the celebration of Cyber Power of Tigray Media, the 3rd year in DoubleTree Hotel.
So
that's what it is, I was frustrated too. Because
that's really why I asked.
I have spent a lot of money. I have spent a lot of money to reserve the hotel.
Yeah.
I have spent a lot of money for the singers, very famous singers like Ephraim Amare and others, They came from different states. I had to pay for their expense,
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's going on here? And then, one of those experts, has been here for a long time, one of those Tigray community leadership. I asked them, what's going on? Is people coming or not? And then they say, just chill down. They probably be here around 11 p.m. What?
Yeah, because I was like, man, this gives the Mexicans has nothing on the Ethiopian people. Oh my God, because the Mexicans, they're notorious for being late. But man, oh my God. So I'm just going to tell you folks, if you go down to Ethiopian get together, ask what time it really starts. So if they say 6, count 4 hours. 10 o'clock, show up. It'll be ready by then.
That's for sure. That's actually true. To be honest with you,
You're joking, right? Hold up. So I'm on my way over to the studio, and I get a text from this joker here, right? He's like, "Hey, bro, what you doing tonight? They got an event going on in Kent." I'm like, "There's no way I'm going. There's no way."
You cannot just tell me last minute, for
Number
the
one,
big event.
Number one, he tells me last minute. Number
Right.
two, I'd have had a taste of Ethiopian get together. Yeah.
I already learned, You cannot foolish me twice, Fool me once.
Yeah. Shame on me. Fool me twice. Shame on you. Yeah. So I'm driving over here, right? I'm passing everybody trying to get over here because I try to keep my promise. Like, hey, we said we're going to get started at 6 and stuff like that, right? So I'm just shooting through traffic and stuff, getting over here. Then, you know, you're not supposed to be texting and driving. But I'm looking at my phone like, yeah, that's not happening.
That's true. I actually asked him if he can go over tonight to me, and then we can do all this live, you know, in that event. And then he said, "Are you serious?" I didn't even talk about this with my wife, and I had to do. Like, all right, whatever, man. That's okay. Just. But
no. On the serious tip, but so what else is going on? We got great
for sure
Ethiopians.
Tonight.
Yeah.
They're gonna start like, you know. I mean, like some people might be there.
Might be there now.
Imagine how long it's going to take me from here. It's going to take me an hour, right?
Yeah. That's why.
If I leave at 9.
This guy here, man, he tells me this as you come through the studio doors, and I'm setting up all the equipment and stuff. He's like, "Yo, man, so what do you think?" I'm like, "Why are we here shooting the show, bro? You should be on the road, you know." So he's dedicated.
I'm a multitask, you know.
He's dedicated
to. I multitask.
Whatever, man. I'm not listening to you right now. But one thing I will say, he's dedicated to trying to get information out to you guys. So, you know, he's here now. So he's going to have to jet out and head over to Kent. You still going to go?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
of course, yeah. Because this is a big event. We have to do this every year. And first of all,
I tell you what, you have an iPhone, right? Mm-hmm. Shoot some video footage, and next week's show we can highlight some of the.
Yeah. We'll do that for sure.
Yeah. So tune in next week. We'll have some of the highlights from the event that's happening in Kent tonight, and we'll have that. And I'll let him talk about it. Because number one, I don't know the language. Because it was funny. People was talking to me, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying.
No clue, right?
No clue, man. No clue. I am from Louisiana. I had this one lady. I think she was cursing me out in African. I don't know the dialect, but she kept asking me. She's like, "Where you from?" And I looked at her. I'm like, "I'm from Louisiana." Then she got mad. She's like, "No, where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Louisiana." No. Where are you from? I was like,
she probably is looking for the country now, from the state.
Right. I'm like, I'm sorry, I was born here. She got mad at me, man.
Yeah, because she didn't even make herself clear.
Yeah.
What are you asking? Like, where are you from? I'm from Louisiana.
I'm from Louisiana, yeah.
She should have asked you, where is Louisiana? I don't know about Louisiana. Then you can just continue. Louisiana is in the United States. Yeah. Like central area or east or whatever.
No, she thought I was from the motherland.
Like, getting frustrated. That's what it is, when you talk with people, English as a second language, they get frustrated. Because they couldn't able to express, like, a stroke patient. Have you seen a stroke patient? Like a stroke patient, sometimes they cannot express themselves, so that's why they get angry and
You should understand me. You should know what I'm saying.
Right. They're trying to say something, but they couldn't able to take that word out, and then they get frustrated, they get angry, they get fight. Like the same thing, Bilingual people is the same thing. When they cannot express themselves, they are asking you something, and they expect you to know what they are thinking.
Yeah.
How do I know what you are thinking? What you are asking me? Like, you are asking me where I'm from. I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah.
But she's asking you maybe the country or maybe something else.
Yeah. And, when I left, I'm like, oh, she probably thought I was from the motherland and want to know what country or tribe I was from.
Right.
I'm from the Robinson clan. Robinson Hair clan,
Everybody did DNA, and they know where they came from and everything, right?
So they say. I don't know how true it is, but I did that, right?
Right.
And they say that my ancestry is from Benin.
Oh, Benin. Okay, yeah.
So, like, I got to go over there now. No, I'm serious, man. No, I want to go
Benin
see.
is a very nice place.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go see because you can't believe the American media. I'm sorry, you can't believe because they try to paint Africa as this poor dunk country, and every African I've talked to, like, oh, bro, you need to come. You need to come to Africa. You need to come see Africa
Of course, yeah.
for yourself. Because it'd be no different if the rest of the world would show Baltimore, Chicago, all the ghettos, right?
Right.
Then you would think, oh, well, that's what America is like, and you don't see the beauty of the things, right? Because I did, I had to go and Google and do some research on my own, man. Because they got some places, man. Even in Ethiopia, right?
Right.
They had this one, I forgot the name of it, but the different colorations of the landscape
Right.
was just so beautiful, man.
It is beautiful, yeah. I mean, like, literally, like, we have 30 months of sunshine, Literally, you can, I mean, of course we are poor because it doesn't mean like, we invest or we spend a lot of money. But the problem is there is no stability, like, peaceful, like political stability.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Otherwise, even only Congo can feed the entire Africa.
Bro,
the source is very rich.
I heard a lot about the Congo, man. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, Nigeria only. The oil they have, the oil hub, like almost the entire Africa can be fed by that only by selling the oil.
That goes back to what we talked about a couple of podcasts ago, where in reality, Africa is one continent that does not need any other country. If it would just pull itself together, Africa don't need anything else from the outside world.
Right.
But the outside world needs a lot of things that comes out of Africa,
Right.
Because your cell phone would not exist without the minerals that's coming out of Africa. It's only unique to Africa, And to me, man, you just said it's poor because all these Western countries try to suck it dry, man,
Yeah.
I think it should be like, y'all need to pay Africa restitution, and then you'll see where the world economy really, truly lies,
Right.
Because Africa is, man, it's vastly rich,
Right.
vastly rich.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, that's the African, like, political instability is not like mostly due to the Africans. It's mostly due to the foreign interesting stakeholders.
Yeah.
Right. Like China wants
Comment.
us to control.
Oh,
right?
man, dude.
United States wants us to control all that, and
I better keep an eye on China, man, because I hear they're doing a whole lot of infrastructure on the continent. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know about that one, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
That's the problem.
It is a problem.
To be honest with you,
because they're speaking a lot of Mandarin in Africa now.
Oh yeah, and
that's ridiculous, man.
In China, you can only have one son or one daughter.
Right.
They're going in there.
They come to Africa and just like boom, bam, bam, wham, pushing them out, man. Man, dude, I saw this one picture of this African woman and she had this Chinese guy. I'm like,
right.
That don't even go together.
They like have 7-6 kids now.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like,
they're gonna dominate, the whole entire Africa recently.
Dude, man, I'm telling you, man, Africa better wake up, man. Like, because everything comes with the price.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything comes with the price and stuff. And if hitting like on the Tigrayan war and all the atrocities that's been happening the last 2 years, just imagine if all these countries can come together and unify together, man. Like you were saying, Nigeria can supply all the oil that you need.
Yep.
And Congo with all, the food and stuff. I was watching some, I don't know how long ago the picture was taken, but it seemed like even in Ethiopia, man, it has so much vegetation, and I know it's the number one capital of coffee.
Right. Oh yeah, Yergachefe.
Yeah.
The whole south part of Ethiopia, the whole north part of Ethiopia. That's just like one of the top, especially Starbucks, is importing a lot of Ethiopian coffee here, Ethiopian coffee. And you know how much they bought it? Like, very cheap. Here for one cup, how much is it? $5?
If not more.
Grande.
I know, right? I'm not a coffee guy. I hate coffee. I hate coffee.
It used to be like $1.25 for
I
one
hate coffee,
right
man.
now.
I hate coffee.
Right.
I love the smell of it. I love the smell.
Yeah.
The reason why I say I hate coffee is when I was a little kid, my dad had one of those percolator coffees, right?
Right.
And I had to wash the coffee pot. And I hate the little grinds, man. I hate it. I would never drink coffee because of that. Never.
Yeah.
But Ethiopia, where it originated from, coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's where it originated from.
Right. That's originated from Ethiopia. The Brazil and other countries are Colombia, just not like, organic like Ethiopia. But it was just like, they came like, as a mission, like as visitors and things.
Yeah.
They took the plants,
Like they do everything. They come into Africa, take, rape, and take it away.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, this is what we had. No, you didn't have nothing, buddy.
Right.
But yeah.
And then now they're just like, even teff. Teff is like, the only seed or plant in Ethiopia. But right now, they can even grow it in Idaho. In Montana, they're growing it. They're selling it, like, the white we make for injera.
Yeah.
Just making it here now.
Yeah.
The vegetation is out here. Everything is around here now,
Yeah.
So...
Before you go on that tangent, I got to ask you this.
Stolen from Africa.
I got to ask you this, man. How do your country people view Haile Selassie?
Well, Haile Selassie it depends on the point of individuals and groups and politicians. But for example, my dad, he likes him. He loves him. Actually, my dad was like, part of the congressman with them, But when he talk about Haile Selassie, there are a lot of things that he made, good things for Ethiopia, and there are few things that he did. Some politicians think Haile Selassie was like, betrayed Ethiopia, especially when the colonization is coming from Italy. He left to England instead of fighting with his own people.
Okay.
And he stayed in England for a long time. And then after those brave Tigrayans like General Alula and others, after they fight and they defeat them, then he came back. When he came back, he came with
that's not funny,
right, you know what I mean?
Funny.
But a lot of people don't know this. Don't know this. They're like, I mean, of course, especially in Jamaica, they see him like as a king. They see him like as a Judah. They see him like as a god. What actually woman said when he say hello to Jamaican people at the airport, start to rain. At the same time, a woman who said that I saw a god on his palm, like, when he waving at us, and then it was drought in Jamaica for a long time. And then at the same time, when he arrived to the airport, it started raining. That's why he, like, Ethiopia and Haile Selassie is just like special. Okay. In Jamaica, even in Ethiopia, they just respect him because there are some, like, the capitalism, a little bit of capitalism started at that time. The governmental structure, kind of, he was up to date. He was educated, at that time. He was the one who, like, learned a lot of things, he was able to communicate with other foreign countries. He was the first person to, he was the founder of OAU, African Union. He was the founder of United Nations.
Because that's what I read, that he was the first African country to even join the United Nations.
The United Nations. And then when he came to United States, he was like, he had a big respect, like, they bow on him, all over,
Yeah.
it was just like, he did a very nice thing, even for Ethiopia. But as Ethiopians, he probably like, went there, and then when they start like, fighting, stayed in England, and when he came with a lot of like, military jets, like car, that kind of stuff. And then he was able to eradicate the the brave Tigrayanis actually, to control the power. So
That's the reason why I asked you that was I just definitely wanted to get your take on it because, like I said earlier, you have this whitewashing of things because the only thing I read about it was the good things. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And but of course that's what you get. But the people who really, know, they can tell a different story. And I'm not trying to paint a bad picture of him. I was just curious. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all the governments, they have their own drawbacks and advantages.
Yep.
And they have made their own story. They have made a lot of. For example, in northern part of Ethiopia, when we have like a big drought, he wasn't like interested to know the whole entire world. He was trying to hide it. All these the whole entire people were dying that time. We had drought. Drought is like you cannot even control the nature.
Yeah.
If something is happened, like it's a natural disaster. Like when you have a natural disaster, you just have to explain to the world, and people to people can help each other, right?
Right.
But at that time, he was able to hide it. One of the journalists from, I think, England or United States, he went to Ethiopia and he saw that, and then he exposed him. He sent that video to the world, and then if you remember, We Are the World was like organized at that time by Steve Wonder,
Michael Jackson. Yeah.
It's a lot of like We Are the World. People are dying here, and we have to help them. That time, the same thing he did Derg, like the Derg regime. For him, it was just a wallow drought. He was like before the We Are the World, we had another episode of the disaster, like multiple episodes of the drought.
But what I don't like about that was they took a couple of clips, right?
Right.
And then they try to portray the entire Ethiopian or African continent like that. When that was only like, okay, it's just this region, just at this time period that we're going through. It's not like everybody in Ethiopia has pot belly flies hanging off of them. You can see the rib cage. That's not the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I didn't appreciate because that's the image that the world had of Ethiopia.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a kind of a stereotype.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same thing with Somali. When what's her name?
Mogadishu.
Who? No, she was a model.
Oh yeah, from the Somalia.
Yeah. And it was like, what?
The
What?
model, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Model is,
she can't be that. They can't have no beautiful women like that.
Right.
Like,
see, that's the stereotype problem.
Exactly.
Here, like when they see like kind of special like one event of like like drought, for example, happened in Ethiopia, doesn't mean that all were like hungry. I wasn't hungry. Maybe some other people were not hungry, but some part of the Ethiopian people were like hungry.
Yeah.
And then they had some. If you are hungry and if you don't have anything to eat and to stay like for a week, you get emaciated. You lose your muscle, and you can look like you have only bone and like that kind of stuff. So that image, as you can see, as you can. Like the whole entire Americans were like you think the whole entire Ethiopians are like same
exactly.
like what the same thing the stereotype when I came here, it was very surprising for me to see people in downtown Seattle homeless, like homeless Americans, homeless African Americans, homeless white folks. I was like, what?
Is this America?
Right,
yeah.
right. Like, you know, I thought
Exactly.
everybody was like, you know, rich. Everybody was like, you know,
Had the American dream.
educated. You know, everybody was like, you know, had like, you know, a job, you know, house, you know, a car and everything. When I see like, you know, homeless people, like, I don't think I'm in America, you know, somewhere like
No,
that kind
yeah.
of. That's what people think, you know, when
Yeah.
you see like, you know, the whole Hollywood thing.
Keyword. Exactly. Yeah, because man, I
The
was
Hollywood life and the real American life is not it's
not so. Yeah,
yeah,
yep,
totally
yep,
different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna go there.
Right.
I'm not gonna go there. Yeah. But anywho, yeah, it's you see the difference, good or bad, but you have to go there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And don't just believe everything you hear.
Yeah.
You know. That's how I figured. You know, just don't believe everything you hear. Because I remember when I was every time we went on a deployment or go out for training, and every time they tell us, hey, stay away from this part of town. It's bad. Me and my friends, we looked at each other like, that's where we're going.
Must be very nice.
And go there and have a ball, man. We go there and have a ball, man. Like, tell us where we're not supposed to go. That's where we're going. Because you might be scared, but like we get there, it's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, yo, what's going on? Come on in. All right, yeah. You know, don't believe everything you hear. That's how you say. Okay, what else in the celebration realm Ethiopians going to be doing here and there?
Well, I mean, the whole entire month now is like, you know, celebration of the Tigray. Like, you know, for the first time, our people started like, you know, to fight. They decided, you know, went to jungle, and then they became rebels and they won, you know. And then for the first time in Ethiopia, actually, this is after the birth of the PLF and after the birth of Tigray, Tigray People Liberation Front. That's why we have constitution. We have showed them to how to live together, you know, how to create constitution, you know, how to govern yourself and live together instead of like, you know, we can only talk this language and one tribe on top and the other tribe, you know, as a second as a second citizen, you know. That's what they're trying to do in the past, but because of the struggle, the Tigray People Liberation Front, along with other like Ba'aden, like the Amhara rebels, you know, the Oromo rebels, you know, OPDO, Oromo People Liberation Front, all of them, like, you know, the four front, they had like, you know, one big organization called Ethiopian People Democratic Republic, EPRDF, like EPRDF. EPRDF was the one who, which like, you know, governing the whole entire Ethiopia for the last 30 years before Abiy came. Abiy is also part of the EPRDF. And then he said he was just like, you know, creating reform.
Yeah, we
a hostile reform.
Meet the boss. Meet the new boss. He's the same as the old boss. All right, E. I know you need to run over to Kent and and do the little celebration with the Tigrayan people. So next week we're gonna have clips of the celebration that we can show the audience and everything. What else you would like to leave the audience before you head out and jet it and get a speeding ticket flying over to
one thing is it's actually a big news for the first time. Tigray People Liberation Front and the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the other delegates met in the remote area of Kenya called Kela, and then they discuss about the progress of the cessation of hostility. It was signed in Pretoria. And accordingly, they have made a big decision that the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia has released about The Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, it will release about 5 billion birr for Tigray banks. So the bank in Tigray will start
back,
and then the
opening up.
people of Tigray will, that's the progress is very slow. It's going, but it's very slow. And the peace agreement is like, going well. At least the people of Tigray is like, resting right now, even though the hostility, the entire Ethiopia is very bad right now, especially related to the religion. The Oromo Orthodox religion are like, having their own synodos, which is like, head of the Orthodox instead of like, the entire Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Ethiopia is going for the next, like, I can't predict, but if the religion and other, like, nationalities are like start to have their own, it looks like they are dividing everything. The structure is dividing right now.
Wow.
And I don't know how it's going to remain.
Christianity is the number one religion there, right?
Right. Yeah, Christianity and it's a big religion, and it's just have a lot of followers, and it may have like, kind of like, bloodshed, to keep that, that structure. And they have like, a lot of issues in that, around that area. So I don't know. I will pray nothing to happen to Ethiopia, but there are some other conflicts also. And the economy is very bad, The export is like, slowing down. There's a lot of like, you can see deteriorating a lot of like, economically, politically, and a lot of stuff. So this needs to stop, It's not going to be good, even though in Tigray, I mean, the Eritrean troops are still around in Tigray also. They're not like, moved out completely. The Amhara militia is also like, doing like stupid stuff in Tigray. Yeah. So all this is very fragile. Politically, it's fragile. It's anything can happen anytime. Abruptly can start like, the war back again. So which is not good. And we don't want to lose a lot of people again. Like we have lost already more than 1 million people died, and then more than 3 million people displaced, and we don't want that to happen. This is only in Tigray, what I'm talking about. But there is a lot of displacement in Hamara, Oromo, Afar, in Benshangul and other places. They are still, the prime minister is still fighting with Oromo Liberation Front, they give them another name, but they are still fighting in Wolaga and Jimma and some other places. So that means a lot of people are still dying, which is not a good sign of like, to have this kind of conflict in Ethiopia. So, general, Cyber Power of Tigray Media, we will have like, more information about those events, especially all the states are like, having special events in Canada, Washington, D.C., Dallas, Houston, and Atlanta, all other places. And also we're going to have more information, and then we're going to come and let you know what's going on. And we will have like, more programs with Defender Smith here. And also, I think we're going to have more programs. I'm not going to announce that right now, but we're going to upgrade our streaming too in the next 1 week or so. Thank you.
He just said he was going to announce something. Did he announce it?
Right.
This guy here.
We're going to have like, small special video.
I'm done.
Announce it.
I'm done with this guy. I am done with this guy. Hey, once again, tune in next week. We'll have the events that happen in Kent. And like you said, we'll bring some more up-to-date information about what's going on in Tigray. And if you like this here, hit that subscribe button and like us. All right. Until then, we are
Peace out.